Hey, I'm Evan.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to USS Sea Stories.
The broken and falling, damned old souls been sent to burn. Nowadays they've been calling, telling me soon gonna be my turn. Head down.
Hey, welcome back to part two with my boy Spencer Wright. First episode, man, we talked about him coming into the Navy, his transition from being qualifying, undesignated, and then kind of went into his experience with 9/11 and how there was a nice little shift and everything with the Navy during that time. And then especially his wonderful, amazing experience with the Navy SEALs, man, which is fucking dope as hell to me, man.
Yeah.
So glad you got the opportunity to do something like that, man. I think that's the coolest shit ever.
I've always been fascinated with Navy SEALs, man. So when you were telling us the story about how you worked with hand in hand with them and stuff like that, and how you actually put in a procedure when they were trying to do whatever the fuck you were talking about when they were trying to do something with the submarine, that's insane, bro, that you actually came up with something like that. So, hey, welcome back, buddy.
Hey, thank you for having me again, man. This is amazing. Again, I love the channel. I enjoy everything that you guys doing. The content is on point. That's all we do is love to talk sea stories.
Yes.
Our family doesn't know what the hell we're talking about, but we do. So,
Yes.
Brothers of the fin.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I gotta, before we start into stories, I gotta add on to that, man. It's really cool that we're getting kind of a following when it comes to submariners. I know you've known Mike forever, but it came to be where we've said this in multiple episodes before this, how Mike had his insomnia and I work night shift, and we would call each other and bullshit about old times, old sea stories and stuff like that.
Yep.
And we're like, man, it'd be kind of cool to make a channel like this so people can relate. And sure enough, bro, I mean, look at you. I mean, you come in here, after, how many years of experience you were in for what, 20 years, something like that? 24 years,
24 years.
Fucking all that knowledge just trapped away in your mind, bro. And then, you can just release it on this channel and, tell it to future submariners or future Navy guys.
Exactly.
Then at the same time, you can also entertain us with your stories, bro. So, hey, once again, welcome back, brother.
Hey,
Welcome
thank
back.
you again, man.
What would you,
Go ahead.
real quick, what would you tell somebody listening in now, thinking about joining the Navy, thinking about going submarines? What would be your sound advice for that?
2020.
Yeah, right. Run. 2020. Wait till 2021 to decide. But I always told everybody, no matter what branch of the military, or actually if they ever want to go Navy, I tell them go Air Force first. But that's a different story.
Yes.
Yes.
I always told them two things. It is what you make it if you decide to go.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not going to like it, it's going to suck. But if you give it a chance, it could be one of the best things you ever do. You're going to meet friends that you're going to have forever. You're going to meet people that you never met before. You're going to get outside of your circle, So that's one thing I would tell them. And then as far as the submarines, just like I said earlier, before, is that nobody knows you like you know yourself. So with that saying, that when you get on board, don't confess everything, because that stuff will come back on you, And so you got to learn to be thick-skinned. You got to learn to hold those precious stories, even if you want to tell them, to yourself or to somebody that you can trust. And don't worry about what other people say. You're there to do a job, because you can't run from them. You're stuck within 165 feet or more, depending on class of sub you're on. So learn to deal with what you got. But so nobody knows you like you know yourself, most of all.
I like that.
Yeah. So I kind of like how you kind of implemented when you first got on there. You kind of have to keep to yourself, get thick skin kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Because man, when you're a nub, non-useful body. Well, sorry, new underway buddy. Excuse me.
Hey, we civilians now. We can say that.
Yeah.
Nubs.
Yeah, fucking nubs.
If I was a nub, y'all motherfuckers are nubs, man.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
you know, people are gonna get on your nerves. They're gonna try you, and
Yes.
you know, I've said in previous videos that's their job. They need to get on your nerves. They need
It
to
is,
test you. You know, you can attest to this probably more than either of us since you've been on, you know, submarines a lot longer than us. But it's their job to weed out the weak. You know, when it comes to submarines, and it's like you said, it's up to you to decide if you're weak or not.
Yeah, submarines is a mental battle.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as physical, it's all mental. So I give you a story. First got on board, I was a nub. And I come up from a family of very funny people. I think I'm the least funniest of all. Some people tell me I'm funny, I don't know. But I got a cousin he stand up all the time, and I got another cousin that could make you laugh and you never met him. He can get on here now and make you laugh, and you're like, this dude's funny as fuck.
Right.
I'm not that type of funny person. I just make jokes. So this dude was trying to run some jokes on me. We call it cracking. So he's trying to crack on me. And the story was, oh, does your mother know that you joined the Navy? Because I was baby face. I weighed probably 110 pounds. You know, now I'm like, we won't go there. So, I got tired of the joke, you know, because I was qualifying. I was staying up for 48, almost 72 hours because I wanted to get done while I seen the nukes that was coming on the boat, and it was almost done when I had been there 4 or 5 months earlier. So I was getting frustrated. So this egg ganger, second class, I'll never forget it. We had a drill, and we was all in cruise lounge, and he said it to me. He just said it to me on the wrong day. So he's like, does your mother know? I was like, yeah. I said, well, he was a short dude. I said, you're so short, you need a stepladder to take a shit. Everybody started laughing. It's like, oh, you let that nub joke on you like that? You let that nub joke on you? I was like, yo, fuck it. What's he going to do? Well, he started to tell everybody not to sign my call card.
Yeah, those was dangerous grounds you were stepping on. Yeah.
So that, again, another form of hazing. Mm-hmm. So he started, and for the next two to 3 days, I go up to people, yo, can you sign my card? I'm trying to get this check out. Nah, we can't touch you, bro. I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh, boy.
You know, I got everything. I'm returning your lookups. Nah. So I ran to the car. I was like, God, somebody signed my call card. And this car, my car was a big 6-foot-something radio man brother, black dude. And he kicked me out of his office. He's like, boy, get out of here. They're going to sign your call card. Needless to say, he went back and told everybody to stop doing that and get me qualified. But I was scared.
Hey,
I was talking out of my means. I should have shut my mouth. And know it's about knowing your place, what it comes down to.
But see, that show you the power of one, qualified people, and then two, the power of A game, man. Because A game is hella respected around the boat. So if A game don't fuck with you, hey,
nobody else ain't gonna fuck.
Nobody fuck with you.
Yeah,
they touch every equipment from forward to aft, and he was one of the senior E5 egg hangers, and he knew his shit.
Yeah.
So again, me not knowing, I'm just speaking out, doing what I would do if I was home. You crack on me, I'm gonna crack on you. That's how it goes. You either take it or you don't. I learned the lesson real quick.
It don't work like that being a nub, bro.
No, it's not. Especially with A gang, bro. Like we've stressed this in many episodes. You don't fuck with A gang, you know.
Nope.
No, sir.
I
got taped up a couple times too.
Yeah.
So,
I've told some FTs or some STs, whatever. You kiss my ass, but when it came to A gang, I'm cool with you, man.
Don't step on the screw, neither.
No, sir. Shit, yeah. So let's talk about what year did you get out exactly?
2016.
2016. So goddamn, you got out later than I did, and I joined before you. So fuck, that's crazy, man. So were you a chief, senior chief?
I got out
E6. What were you?
I got out as a chief.
You got out as a chief.
I made chief on the Tucson.
Good for you, man. Fucking deck plate leadership.
Man,
yeah, man.
It was so that was another high. That was another high point. I won't say it's the highest point of my career, but definitely one of the best.
I could see I just said that. I could see your chief shit right behind your head. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why I'll tell you why it was one of the highest moments of my career. One, because the lessons that I've learned while I was making it proved that everything that I was doing before I made it, I was already ahead of myself. It was just a matter of earning the rank, you know. And then, to me, like you said, deck plate leadership, I always believed, and this was even before making chief, because it was taught to me that, one, don't be the senior guy to know, and lift everybody up to where you're at, you know. So I would always tell my guys, or anybody, Mike, I could have told you this, but your job as a junior is to work your senior guy out of a job.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
once you understood that, then you wasn't trying to outshine him or outdo him. You was trying to get where he's at so he can get to another level, you know?
Yeah.
So by making chief, I could just say something and more people listen. And where as a first class, when I was on Tucson, only a select few listened.
That's a good point, dude. Like, so do you think there is times and opportunities, not, you know, for you or maybe for you, but for anyone in general in the Navy or maybe even civilian worlds where they were, you know, middle management kind of thing, and they were trying to advance, but they couldn't because no one could take their job, you know? So do you think that there was, like how you said you were pretty much a hot runner, you know, you were going above the game. You know, well, you know, you were qualifying shit, you know. Do you think that that prevents a lot of people from advancing, is not having someone below them being able to do their job?
No, not like that, because from the way you're asking, it's like saying that the person can't pass an exam. So from E1 to E6, all you got to do is pass an exam.
Right.
Then it's about taking the duty that will put you into a leadership position.
Okay.
You know, so on submarines, you're not really a leader until you're an E6, unfortunately. When in the surface Navy, as soon as you make petty officer, you start running people, seamen and below, you know? So as far as that goes, I don't think so, but what I understand your question. So I'm just trying.
I mean, it's not a right or wrong answer.
No.
You know, I just want to hear what your thoughts on it is.
I think that what prevents people from making rank is, well, one, sometimes you got to play the game. Meaning that it ain't about kissing ass or nothing like that. Sometimes you got to play, because I don't consider myself a play the game type person. So you got to play the game in the sense of taking the right collateral duties, qualifying the right watches, and understanding evaluation system. You know, so once if somebody's able to teach you those things, which I don't think is getting done, then you'll be able to advance and choose the better jobs for yourself and put yourself in the right position. So for me, being the person that I never want to be idle as far as qualifications go, I was putting myself in the right position without trying. You know, again, you say hot runner, and I know you're just using it as a term.
Yeah.
But I always just try to do what I wanted to do. Again, I never wanted nobody, because once I seen people start telling them what to do, they became that shitbag.
Yeah.
Why aren't you qualifying? Where's your qual card? Let me see your qual card. Oh, you're behind. Don't talk to me. I got other stuff I can be doing. You know, I don't want people talking to me about that petty stuff. Just do it. You know, that's the way the submarine force works. So I tried to always do it ahead of schedule if I could. And believe me, I came across some blocks. Some people try to block me. So quick story. I always say that, quick story. I was qualifying. I was on the Florida. I was qualifying chief of the watch as a third class. Now, the reason why I was doing it, because we was helmsman plainsmen, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so you know how it goes when you sit there and you're in the stern plainsman outboard, and this chief sits down and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, chief, that valve's for that valve's ingest, that valve's to blow, that valve. just ingest 2,000, we'll be fine. What are you talking about? What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
But again, me being naive, I don't understand that he's been off the boat for 4 years, 2 years, 3 years, and he data dumped it all. So when I started telling the chief what to do, and these other first classes that was qualifying, I was like, why can't I do it? So I got permission. I asked a couple of people, can I get a qual card? They was like, yeah, but we're not going to qualify you. I said, I don't care. I said, I just want the qual card. I just want to finish it. So I know I can finish it. I got about 70% done. And the captain had a captain's call. And E4 and below, he sits down, says everybody's doing a good job. So E5, E6s, and he goes to them. He says, okay, gentlemen, I got a sailor on board that's barely old enough to drive a car, qualifying chief of the watch. What are you doing? What do you think that did for me? That shoved me back down. I was getting prac facts. I was literally getting prac facts. I was getting UI time. I was getting all this stuff. So when he said that, I couldn't get shit. It wasn't my fault. It's just they started to step up because captain started to notice. So you just have to be ready to put yourself in positions to succeed. And that goes same for the civilian world. Civilian world is a little bit different because now you have to apply for those positions. So quick story. Since I've been out, I've been a contractor twice and worked for government once. So I first worked at BAE, then I worked for TRF as government. Now I'm with CACI. When I was at BAE, I could, if I wanted to move to a different position, I had to apply for it. And the government, you eventually get steps and pay grades over time after you do your probation time, you know. But even then, once you're done with your probation, you can apply for another job in another position. But the only people that can hold you back are the supervisors. So you can't just advance. You know, a supervisor can hold you back and say, nah, he's not ready for that step 2, step 3. He's not showing progression, you know. Where in the military, literally all you got to do for the first 5 pay grades is just show up on time.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Do you think that, so, you know, people like, you know, the hindering, do you think that some people have that power to hold you back, like out of jealousy or anything? Because, you know, you say, you know, you've been a hot runner like as an E4, and him telling the 5, you know, the E5s, E6s, hey, this dude about to outshine y'all. So do you think there's jealousy within the leadership, like, hey, you're not about to outshine me, you're not about to do this, you know, so no, we're gonna make it to where you back to the bottom and you can't, you know.
Yeah, that definitely happens. That definitely happens. But they can't stop you. Only you can stop you. You can hate on me all you want. And it was done. People hate on me. The captain, like I said, the captain told them, step up. So what I do, I got a mid-watch. Every mid-watch I had, because there was nobody up. Nobody's up at mid-watch because they either got drills going on or they just want their sleep. So I got my prac facts then. I transferred before I was done, but I still was getting it done. So you just have to find a different way to do it. In the civilian world, that's different. That's definitely different. They tend to listen to their supervisors more than the employee because the supervisor, quote unquote, knows more. So what I definitely learned in my 4 years of being out is to read the rules of wherever you're working at, understand them, and know that management comes first.
Yeah.
Before the employee, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's what I've learned.
That's one of the most backward things that I've learned as well. Getting out of the Navy. We've stressed on this quite a few times, Mike, of people in leadership positions that you really know that have no business being in those positions. And that's just how it works in the civilian world, unfortunately, you know?
Yeah.
So let's talk about when you guys first met, your first submarine kind of thing like that. Let's do that.
Yeah, so I actually joined in 09, March of 09. I showed to the boat in September 09. And my 1-on-1 at the time was wasn't the best one-on-one ever, man. You know,
My bad.
you know, my one-on-one was not the best one-on-one. So my boat was select few black people, man. It was like I think it was like 8 of us.
Yeah, about that.
So quickly I gravitated towards you, the chief that we had.
You got to relate to somebody.
Navy T chief, chief skipper.
Sorry about
what's
that.
up, man? And then I gravitated towards you a lot, and I was always go down to the SK Shack and just talk, man, chop it up, and all those principles that you had, you instilled into me, man. Like, hey, you qualify sticks, man, but hey, qualify something else, man. Like, get out of the stick, do whatever. So I remember leaving the boat, qualified chief of the watch, and working on dive. Because you were telling me the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't know that though. That's great.
No, well, yeah, I was working like qualified chief of watch, I was qualifying dive, but it was like, man, you sit here almost every fucking day.
Yeah.
So you should know what's going on. Like, hey, man, do it. But you, like that deck plate leadership thing was correct because you helped me a lot throughout my time there, and then, so I appreciate that a lot, man.
I want to add on to that, man. For new guys coming in or people that are already in or whatever, they're kind of struggling, man, it's not a bad thing to latch on to someone that's senior to you, that, their shit's in the right place, you know what I'm saying? And, to, follow them and look to them for guidance and shit like that. It's not a bad thing, right, to do that. So, do something like that. So, it's a good thing to latch on to somebody or reach out to somebody, who's ahead of you, be it a chief, an E6, E5, even E5, and look for them for guidance and stuff. Because you will have people on the submarine or in the Navy or in the military in general that you can look up to that leads you astray, as a matter of fact. Yeah. But you also have people that lead you the right way. You just have to look for them. So anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's great. I love that, man. One, congratulations on Mike qualifying chief of the watch and almost finishing dive. I never knew that. That's amazing. And before I go into my little background, I want to tell you something, Mike. You told me something that made my career worth what it was, even after I left the boat. You just said it. You looked at me as a mentor. But when I was about to leave and I was leaving, you said, thank you for being you, being the chief that you was or being the first class that you was, because you showed me, that there's some good people out there. And I was like, to me, that made it all worth it, because from when I was a young seaman to getting out, if it wasn't for the people that looked out for me, I wouldn't have been able to make it 24 years. So that goes into what we're speaking about. I had people, what I learned as I was coming up was, don't only just look at the good, look at the bad leaders, because then you can look at the bad leaders and figure out what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So he speaks of his YN1, I'll let him tell his stories, and he can pull a lot of bad stuff from him that he did, and take that and make himself a better leader. And being a leader doesn't start at E7. Being a leader starts when you're ready, when you understand what it takes to be a leader. When you speak and somebody's listening, you're being a leader. You guys are leading with this channel. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that, brother. Yeah.
So that's what it takes. That's what it's about, understanding. So once I got that, to me, it was my everyday. And the way we're talking now is the way I would talk to anybody that came down to the shack. I always try to keep my shack a hangout spot. Play music, get the work done, you know what I'm saying? Just have a good old time.
Yeah.
And if I cut hair, whatever the case was, I let my juniors do the same thing. If I had to kick somebody out because I had to get work done, that was it. But in the end, I try to take people under my wing or just provide them with some type of guidance so that when I'm not around, they can make the right decision, because that's what my mother taught me. She's like, once you leave the house, You got two choices: make that left turn down the block with those dudes, or make that right turn and stay safe.
Yeah.
You can only make the decision. I can't make it because you're out of the house.
To be honest, it sounds a lot like almost like a surrogate father figure. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's you're teaching young men how to be men, which is kind of how what I kind of want to get into on the next episode with you. You know, leading young guys that are coming into the Navy, teaching them how to be good sailors, good men, and then more to the point for the three of us, what to do with yourselves once you get out. Because I know from Mike and myself, Spencer, you and I just met, but I'm sure you're the same way. There is some difficulties once you get out of the military. So, guys, like we say, you know, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. It does help us quite a bit. We are a growing channel. It's incredible how much it's grown in the, you know, less than 3 months that we've had it. So it's really awesome seeing it expand the way it is. So we'll see you in episode 3.
The devil's gonna come when the sun